Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a brand new episode of the Division Z podcast. My name is Jason.
And I am K Cosmic.
Today, we are joined by a guest. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yo, how's it going, everyone? My name is B-Rad the Man. I am just happy to be here.
You are a B-Rad the Man. That's what you are.
And we're happy to have you here.
Happy to have you here.
Appreciate it.
Been meaning to
Definitely
get you on
glad
the
to be here.
podcast for a while. Been meaning to get you on here for a while. Because, hey, we stream together all the time. You popping in and out of the chat all the time. Got to get you in here. And plus, he's a zombies content creator, so we gotta get content creators on the podcast, right? So, speaking of zombies, jumping into some topics for the day. Things we're going to talk about today include Rebirth of the Dead, just came out for Warzone over the last week, and also a new custom zombies map that I think is really fun called Overload, made by Mad Gaz, and I thought it was a really good rendition of one particular subsection of Transit. And yeah, I guess we'll just start off with Rebirth of the Dead because it's the most recent thing. What do you guys think about Rebirth of the Dead? Cosmic, have you had the opportunity to jump into it? And Brad, have you had the opportunity to jump into it?
Well, I mean, I haven't had the opportunity to jump into it per se. I've seen gameplay of it, and I mean, it looks okay. It looks fun. Again, I'm not the biggest Warzone player in the world anyway, but whenever there's events going on like this, I tend to try and jump in. I'm just not at the time. But it does look good. Looks kind of similar to zombie events we've had before in the past. Maybe a little bit more expanded upon.
Definitely.
I mean, what are your guys' thoughts on it? What do you guys think about the game mode?
Yeah, what do you think about it, Brad?
Well, I'm not a avid Warzone player just because the Battle Royale stuff, I'm just kind of
not for you.
Hit or miss with it. Exactly.
Been there, done that kind of thing.
Exactly. But I've been watching a lot of the gameplay, at least through Jason's streams, and I can definitely say, like, this is one of those events to me, and helps too that I'm a zombies player, but to me, I would probably actually hop into Warzone and play, just because it looks like it's actually a lot of fun. You're not just sitting there scrambling for guns, and then all of a sudden you get shot and die. Like, you actually have a chance to, just kind of have some fun and just, like, attack people as a zombie. It's kind of a different turn of grief in a way, which is really cool if you think about it.
Yeah.
And this is one of those things where I actually look at it and go, this might be something that would actually get me into playing Warzone again. So
try to cross two game modes together, try to bring one player base over to another game mode.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, like I said, it's everything about it so far that I've been seeing anyway has looked a lot of fun, and maybe down the line I'll give it a shot.
Yeah, I think it's definitely worth giving a shot. I think what they did with this time around was, if you guys remember the Verdansk event for the zombies event that we had back in when was that, like 2021, like the beginning of 2021, I believe it was.
Yeah, I think it's been over a year now.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy to think how it's been that long since the first zombies event, but that was really fun. And what they expanded upon for this one was they added the new mechanic of the Infestation Meter. And for those of you who maybe haven't played it yet, the Infestation Meter is, if enough zombies are killed, it contributes to a meter, and if the meter is filled, all the players that are spectating the game will come back as zombies. So if your squad wipes and you're spectating some random player, don't leave the game yet. Don't leave the game yet. You can still come back to life because you're a spectator, which I think is a very interesting mechanic that makes for some kind of crazy moments toward the end of the game when the Infestation Meter fills up and then you have all the zombies outnumbering all the players too. So
no doubt.
It's definitely cool. And the fact of the matter is, I like Rebirth Island as well. And Rebirth Island is, I think, a good locale to have an event like this. It's not too big, not too small. And I think this is probably better than the Verdansk one, to be honest with you guys.
Yeah, I'm guessed because it's a bit closer quarters. There's not so much just like open area, if you get what I mean. I know Verdansk, a lot of people love it, and nostalgia and all that good stuff. But I think one thing people can, I think it's fair to say it had a lot of open areas, if you get what I mean. Just a lot of like running around sort of space and that. And one thing I have to ask, how you could do like the super jump in the first time event? Is that back as well then?
Yeah, so the super jump and the gas bombs and the EMP blast, yes, that's all back.
That's all back. So how does super jump play in this then? Does it
the same?
Same,
you just hold down the trigger and you leap into the air and you cover a lot of ground really fast because it's Rebirth Island. Whereas maybe on Verdansk you wouldn't have covered as much. So it's kind of fun to use on Rebirth Island. You can get over to if you're starting at chemical engineering, you can just hop all the way over the other side of the map in like 2 jumps. So yeah, it's kind of neat actually. The one thing that I want to know about this event, you know, why now? Because you have all these Warzone events that, you know, Godzilla vs. King Kong, you know, that's a crossover event, you know, Nakatomi Plaza, that was just a crossover event, whatever. But when you have an event like this where the zombies are coming to coming to Rebirth Island like they did for Verdansk, and that played a role in the storyline of Warzone, you know, why now? Like, why are zombies on Rebirth Island in 2022? Because Rebirth Island, the current iteration of it, takes place in 2022. So why are zombies back on Rebirth after we nuked Verdansk? And, you know, did we not kill all the zombies? Like, what's going on there? So I really hope going into Season 5, we get a little bit more story explanation as to why this is happening right now. And I hope they don't just go, you know what? Screw it. Why not? Here you go. Because, you know, they gotta get the storyline progression through to Modern Warfare 2. So I don't know. What do you guys think about that?
Well, isn't... Oh, sorry, Kazir, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was going to say, isn't this... I'm not really an avid follower of Warzone. I didn't even know there's a storyline for Warzone, but...
Oh, shoot.
I'll say, when is the Warzone 2 supposed to come out?
That's supposed to come out with Modern Warfare 2, I believe. Or like shortly after.
I think in the same... Well, in this year it's supposed to come out. But
right, but like maybe a month later or something?
Yeah, something like that, I think. Yeah. Yes.
Okay, so yeah, my guess is the reason that they're probably doing all this now, and one, you already have like all the assets in there, you might as well use them and get another neat event out there. But I'm assuming that this means that we'll be going away from Rebirth Island, because I think this is what, like the 4th or 5th iteration of Mob of the Dead that they've remade. So maybe they'll just move over to a whole new area, and like this is just their maybe a way of like a final goodbye to Rebirth Island or something. And why not throw zombies into Mob of the Dead remake? So
right. We definitely talked about that before, Cosmic, if you remember, that we thought the farewell tour for Rebirth Island was going to be when Fortune's Keep came out, and then we were pleasantly surprised that they kept all 3 of the maps, Fortune's Keep, Rebirth, and Caldera. So,
that's kind of a rotation.
Yeah, maybe Brad's right in this sense. Maybe Season 5 rolls around, and the beginning of Season 5, we nuke Rebirth Island like we nuked Verdansk, and that's a farewell to Verdansk event, and or Verdansk, farewell to Rebirth Island event, and I hope it doesn't go away, to be honest with you. I like Rebirth Island.
The thing is, right, I don't think it'll ever go away as a COD Battle Royale map, just because I see Rebirth as kind of like the nuke town of the Battle Royale game mode. No matter how many times... Think about it, right? It's been in every Battle Royale game we've had pretty much, and I know there's only been like 2 or 3, right? But it's been in Blackout.
For Call of Duty,
it's been in Blackout, been in Warzone, been in COD Mobile. You know, and I know it's been zombies in that as well, obviously, right? Because it's Mob of the Dead, right? That's where it originated from. But I think it's been around too long for it just to disappear. I wouldn't be scared of it going away completely. I think when Warzone 2, I know they really just want to focus on the one Battle Royale map, guns and bouncing in that game. So I don't know if it did necessarily come back in that game, but I think Warzone 1, I think is right. These times, right? It's so confusing to kind of know what's happening with it.
Right.
Like, is Warzone 1 still going to be like actively monitored, or is, you know what I mean? Is Warzone 2 going to be like Infinity Ward's like own little project, kind of like how Blackout was to Black Ops 4? Right. Is it going to be free to play? I don't even know if these questions have been answered yet.
Well, what's interesting about that too is, you know, back when they were apologizing for Warzone being in the state that it is, you know, with a lot of hackers and a lot of glitches, a lot of bugs, you know, Warzone is definitely far from perfect right now, but it is still fun with, you know, the zombies event, right? You can still have fun with it. The developers, when they were apologizing for it back, how many months ago that was, like 3 or 4 months ago already.
Yeah,
for a while.
They were saying like, oh, well, you know, with all the like too many cooks in the kitchen kind of thing, right? Where oh, Black Ops Cold War had to be integrated to Warzone because, you know, it gives players something to do for Warzone, and then Vanguard had to be implemented to Warzone, and then it became overbearing for the game to handle. And so what I think might end up happening here, if Activision learns from their mistake there, if what they're saying is true, that because adding in several games into one game is overbearing for the game and it's too much, then this will probably be what you're saying, Cosmic, about Infinity Ward's own project, like Blackout was Treyarch's own project. So I think there's a good chance of that happening, actually.
Yeah, and the thing is, right, in a perfect world, and I think we were all pretty excited when we were learning about when Warzone was coming out, and then like all future games be integrated into it, and it'd be this free service, and you know, you'd have all these challenges you could do, and you wouldn't have to like buy every COD game to experience it. I think it was an exciting thought at first, but obviously, as time has shown, it just makes the product a lot more messy.
Well, I think, you get what I mean. I think if you can do it, right?
Yeah.
But if it becomes overbearing and the game's unstable and the game, you know, blah, 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 then don't do it. And then it'll ruin the experience for more people. I mean, I don't know about you guys. Brad, what do you think about that?
Well, it's one of those things to me, like obviously they've had like everyone involved in Warzone in some way, shape, or form. I mean, really, if you think about it, like as far as the Battle Royale area started for Call of Duty, like obviously Treyarch started off, and then they kept going with Warzone, and so yeah, they've had Infinity Ward, everyone involved in it. Like it's just one of those things. Like it has worked, but at some point, like you said, there's been too many cooks in the kitchen. They kind of just need to I think they need to let one of the studios like develop this and just make it a good system. And yeah, if they make everything where like it's all like on the same engine or everything, because I think they're doing a new engine for 2022, and it's going to be that way at least until I don't know, probably whenever the Microsoft deal takes place or whatever. I don't know what the whole process there, but like I said, I don't mind the idea of like everything being involved in the same engine or whatnot, but sometimes you just kind of need to like let the studios do their own thing and just kind of separate separate some of the stuff, and like maybe it'll just kind of like stabilize itself in that way. Maybe, I don't know, but it's really hard to tell with everything just being so up in the air right now with Activision and Call of Duty. So
you know, it's kind of like what we were talking about last week, Cosmic, with, you know, when you diversify too much, right?
Yeah.
And so you have so many of these companies that they have their hands in the pot with Warzone. You've got Raven, you got Beanox, you got Toys for Bob, which I know Toys for Bob worked on like small things like the Gulag, but then like Treyarch with their guns, and then Sledgehammer with their guns from Vanguard, and you know, there's so much happening that, you know, it's too much. There's too much diversity with the game. There's too much to handle because, according to the Warzone developers, it's overbearing. So it's one of those things where you go, yeah, maybe we should just have one studio. You work on this, you work on that, you know, whatever, right? But we actually see that with Call of Duty and the developing cycle, a lot of these studios do need a lot more help, which is, it's kind of a double-edged sword, right? Because on the one hand, you would rather have one developer work on one thing and then, you know, that's it. But then I'm sure you guys know about with Infinity Ward and Modern Warfare 2, Treyarch, you know, according to the leaks, are going to be working on ranked play again. And then Infinity Ward asked Sony's gaming studio to help out with the game. And then it's like what's going on here? Like, why is there so much? Why is there so much? Yeah, why is there so much happening? Like, can these studios not produce something by themselves anymore? Like, I think this is a good question to ask. You know, I'm not being facetious. I'm not trying to like find anything and be like, haha, you know, you suck. No, it's a genuine question that I have, because Sledgehammer is the same way with Treyarch. Treyarch is making half the game for Sledgehammer right now, and I don't want that to be another situation for Modern Warfare 2. So it's weird. It's a really weird just split where it's like, yeah, you would rather one studio work on this, one studio work on that. They have their own projects. It's completely separate. It's all good and dandy. But then on the other hand, it's like, it looks like they need help. You know, it seems like Treyarch is the one that, like, come on, Treyarch, you know, let's help out another studio here, you know, because Treyarch's got a lot on their plate right now. You know, again, you know, people might be, oh, well, you're just a Treyarch fanboy and whatever, right? And other people, here's the thing, other people like DK Dynamite share the same sentiment that I do because the writing's on the wall. It's right there. Treyarch is working on so much shit right now. It's Sledgehammer and Infinity Ward. What's happening? Obviously, Infinity Ward with Modern Warfare 2, but like, what's happening there? Sledgehammer and Vanguard. It's just a real head scratcher because it's like
I want an honest opinion from you guys, right? Sledgehammer, do you think they'll make another COD game, another main Call of Duty game? Do you think it'll happen? Because keeping in mind, right, that Infinity Ward made Ghosts, and then they made Infinite Warfare, and then they made Modern Warfare as well, right? So they had pretty two, like, even though I enjoyed both games, they had two pretty like underwhelming COD games.
What would be considered to be like flops for the community, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like, don't get me wrong. Again, we all have our personal preferences. I like Extinction. I imagine we all like Infinite Warfare Zombies here. It's a fun game mode, right? But in general, the games weren't received that well, but they still came back from it. So even after Vanguard, right? Even after they haven't been really working on their game because they've only really worked on the campaign. And once that's done, that's finished with
the multiplayer somewhat.
Yeah, exactly, right? And then Zombies they haven't touched because Treyarch have been doing that. So do you think they'll come back for a Vanguard 2? Because I'm pretty sure, Jason, you're the one that told me they want to make Vanguard a trilogy.
I was about to mention the writers would love to have that. The writers would love to have a Vanguard 2 and a Vanguard 3. I don't think they'll get it. I think with after what's happened with Vanguard, and it's been arguably the game that has received the most hate ever in Call of Duty history. I think there's a good chance that because when the Microsoft deal goes through, then it would be Sledgehammer's turn to make another game, right? So it would be one of those things where you kind of think to yourself, would Microsoft want to take the risk with Sledgehammer after seeing the bomb that is Vanguard right now? I mean, I don't know. Brad, Cosmic, I mean, I don't know, man. Am I being mean? Am I being just so mean to the developers?
Well, to be fair, their track record isn't really that good either because they also did Advanced Warfare and Modern World War II, right?
Yeah.
And so their track record is not the greatest when it comes to developing games.
When it comes to the fans.
And I say this as an Advanced Warfare fan. Like, I actually like Advanced Warfare, but everything else that they've done so far in terms, like, I don't know if it's been whether they've been assisting or anything like that, but they're not the cleanest developer when it comes to some of these games.
They've never just had a solid game.
Exactly. Like, they've never been able to like push it to the next level, at least by themselves. Right. And it's just one of those things where you just go, Sledgehammer, like, why do you so frustrated? Like, because obviously we have like good things with Treyarch. They've been obviously just killing it with at least the majority of their games. Even whether you like all the Black Ops games or whatever they've done, they've proven themselves time and time again.
Right. Whether
it's their one game mode or anything, but their campaigns have been good. The battle or the Blackout was good. Pretty much everything there, but Sledgehammer has just not been solid. And I
mean, even Cosmic, you and I were talking about last week, even with their games that haven't been solid, we can still go back and say that they've had some wins when it comes to their game design. Like, some of the multiplayer maps for Advanced Warfare were actually kind of cool and were actually kind of good, but for the most part, the entire game wasn't really well received. I from what I remember, at least.
I mean, I remember when the trailer came out, and then people were all like, and this is what was kind of a result with the Black Ops 2 trailer as well, because everyone thought, oh, Black Ops 2 is going to be like Halo because it's in the future or whatever, right?
Right.
The comments on the game from the start was like, oh, so Advanced Warfare is like Halo now? There's jetpacks and all that? Call of Duty is like Halo? And yeah, I mean, the maps in the game, I think the maps in the game are good. The guns are fun. The thing that killed it was supply drops and then weapon variants, as well as that. I don't think the exo movement was bad in itself. I think the exosuits in Advanced Warfare, even though they could be annoying, I think they were fine, They wanted a new movement system.
Yeah, I like that.
And I think it was pretty simple. You double jump, you double stash, all that stuff, right? And with Advanced Warfare, I think the campaign and multiplayer were great. Obviously, they didn't have too much influence over Exo Zombies. That was on Raven, so I'm not going to really.
But then again, you see again that like another studio came in and made zombies for them.
Yeah,
You know, and it's
yeah.
like
I mean,
it's been you know, future proofs past, right? So you
yes,
have one of those things where you kind of go, well, shit.
and I love to point this out.
The signs were there before.
Yes, and I love to point this out that out of the 3 Sledgehammer games that have had zombies game modes, they've only made one of them. So they've only developed one zombie game mode, and I love to point that out. So
Yeah.
yes,
Because that's just the facts, right? I know there's going to be some people watching us going, oh my God, these guys are just ripping the developers and they're just being mean for no reason. No, actually, we're being real about it. Like, there's always
you don't have to sugarcoat everything.
Yeah, you don't have to sugarcoat everything. You just, you say it how it is, and there are undeniable facts that you have to put forward. And of course, we're going to have our opinions about them, but at the same time, you know, you can't deny that what we just said is true, I think. And it's, you know, we always say this, we're a little tough because we want to see the game franchise do good and we want to see progress with it. And so when we have a game like Vanguard that comes out and bro, it's just not it. I mean, guys, I got to tell you, the other day on stream, I was just so frustrated with Vanguard. For those of you who may or may not know, I doing Road to Dark Ether videos for Vanguard, and it's not very often that I've been doing them because, well, Vanguard. And dude, I went to go get Plague Diamond SMGs the other day, and I completed the last 2 SMGs that I needed for my Plague Diamond, and Plague Diamond didn't unlock. And the funniest thing is 6 out of 6 locked. 6 out of 6 locked. And I just pretty much pulled the plug temporarily on Road to Dark Ether. Like, if they can fix the camo tracking, maybe I'll come back to the series, but at this point in time, I just don't want to do Road to Dark Ether, especially since the camo grind is so laborious in the game with 70 weapon levels, a crap load of camos, and it's just frustrating. It is really, really frustrating that I just kind of went, bro, this ain't worth it if I'm not even going to get the reward from it.
70 levels to unlock a camo, like that. I'm just in my head that I'm just sitting there going, that's disgusting. Like, there's no reason 70 levels just to get a color on a gun. Like, if it's cool, then sure, but the camos aren't even that good. Like, you're just like, you look at it and you go, oh, that's just nasty looking. And I don't know, like, because I watched that stream and I watched your video, and I'm like, I could just see like I could see it in your eyes, your heart just broke, like, because you just sat there. You just sat there and you were like, I don't know what to do. Like, I thought you were gonna like start like screaming at your TV or something. Like, holy moly!
As much as I would have liked to, that, you know, that wouldn't do any good, right? So I just I just fucking I mean, just like, bro, instead of making a Road to Dark Ether video where it's like, hey, look, guys, I got some camos, and then, oh no, the camo didn't unlock. I made a whole video being like, hey, by the way, this is broken. For those of you out there who want to do it, it's broken, so keep that in mind. And like, I don't know, man. It's just, it's frustrating because this game had so much potential too, and then it's just like,
yeah, because I mean, it's the second chance. Like, I mean, first of all, it's the first chance the Treyarch have had a World War II setting for zombies since World at War, right?
Yep.
And well, second of all, it's like, you know, Sledgehammer, you know, they tried their zombies game mode, and it was okay for the most part, right? You know, the maps are okay, and the game was just fine, right? I know a lot of people actually really like World War II, but this was Treyarch's time to come back and actually, you know, do something with the game mode, and it's just time restraints and the fact that the studio working on zombies in this is so small. Like, it shouldn't have been even put in the box that there's a zombies game mode. No matter how good Shinonuma Reborn is, you know?
The best part about Vanguard is also
the remake
like,
from like 12 years ago.
Well, here's the thing, I don't even mind. Like,
no, that's fine.
I know people are like super triggered when it comes to like remakes, right? They're like, oh my god, this is reused, and oh my god, whatever.
It's better. It's better than what they're making.
Yeah, as long as it's good, I don't fucking care if Nocturne Totem comes back. Well, it did for D Machina, but you know, I don't even care. If it's good and it provides a different experience, then let's go. Sure, I don't care. Shinonuma, Varux, Kino, Ascension, bring some of the old maps back and remaster them in a clever and creative way. And, you know, if it's good, it's good. I don't really care.
Well, and and I apologize if I'm over like stepping my boundaries here or my knowledge of all the zombies lore and whatnot. But Nocturne and Toten was a like use assets from the campaign, right?
Right.
Or part of it,
Right.
and say
I like their maps. Yeah.
Yeah, and say in Verruct, same thing. Shido Numa, same thing. Like everything.
Yes.
Yeah, they're all reuse assets. We've been playing on reuse assets for everything since World at War.
Yeah.
So when people complain about, oh, this is just a remake, this is just a remaster, this is just because we like them because they're good. That's why they're remastering them, and that was one of the things. Like even going back to when they had BO4, they're like all the Ether maps were just remakes of old maps because people like them because they were good. Yeah. Did it help? Did it help whether or not they were just like polished up or touched up a little bit and had some extra things? I'll leave that up to you, but it's just one of those things where it's like everything is reused in some way, shape, or form. I mean, we've seen Noct 5 times now. We've seen Nuketown like 700 million times in Call of Duty. Yeah. And it's like they're reusing them because they're good, and they're using them in whatever way they want. I mean, all the Cold War maps, I think except for D Machine, are reused from the campaign. Right. They reuse them for everything. So it's when people complain about, oh, it's not as original or whatever, they use it for this. Right. I take that argument and I just throw it in the trash. Like there's no reason to complain about it. If it's good, you like it, that's all it needs to be said with that.
Yeah. The thing as well about it, right, is that I never understood the argument of, oh, they've reused a location from the campaign for a zombies map, and it's like, you haven't experienced this like area as a zombies map yet, so it's a bit annoying, you know. It's kind of like Nuketown, right? Like imagine people are like back in Black Ops 2, like, oh, they're just reusing Nuketown for zombies. We've already seen it in Black Ops 1. They're just reusing it.
I mean, people did think that actually.
Did they?
Yep, I remember some people back in the day were also saying that. So this argument's been around since the dawn of time, since the dawn of adding multiple maps and multiple seasonal content things into Call of Duty. So I mean, the thing that's also funny to me too is like people will say, before Firebase Z, Gorod Krovi was the last completely original map we had before, all the zombies maps were super reused, right? And then they won't bat an eye at the fact that the Pack-a-Punch house is a house from the campaign in Gorod Krovi. So it's one of those things where you just go, yeah, it's everything's reused in zombies to some degree, but if it's used in a creative and good way, then cool, I'm all for it. If it's not used in a good and creative way and I don't like the map, then okay, then I don't like the map. But I don't think anything is just inherently bad because it's reused. Maybe you could make you could maybe argue, oh well, maybe they're running out of ideas and they just wanted to copy paste this over. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe they are, maybe they aren't. Maybe they just want to have a fun experience, or maybe they are running out of ideas. I don't know. But as long as it's good, as long as it's good content, and we're not just, oh my God, Nuketown for the 8th time, I'm just going to play it because it's Nuketown, right? As long as you go, oh, well, I'm going to play this next iteration of Nuketown because it's actually good. That's the thing. You don't just consume to consume. You consume to see if you like it. Exactly. And I think a lot of people don't make that connection where it's like, huh, all these Call of Duty fanboys will just play anything. And, to some degree, that is kind of true for a lot of people out there. But, for people like us that we like to look at things on both sides and play devil's advocate, I think it's a very important thing to discuss here.
And for anyone that is watching, if you're not a huge fan of the argument about studios reusing assets for whatever iteration of whatever they're doing, it's the same thing for every game that's pretty much ever been made. I mean, look at the entire Halo franchise. You have all these multiplayer maps that were taken from the campaign. It's happening everywhere. You just got to accept it. That's how it's going to be for every game forever and ever. And like I said, if you don't like it because it's in use in one thing and not the other thing, hate to break it to you, Jack, but that's how it is. So,
I mean, at the end of the day as well, right? Zombies is the third game mode of COD, so always even for the part, and I know that's like a sad thought, right? Like, zombies, like that's why we buy the games and that, right? But in all reality, I think people are mostly buying COD games for multiplayer, Not maybe so much campaign. I know with Cold War it's a bit different. I know a lot of people did actually buy
Cold
it for
War's
the
campaign
zombies.
is awesome.
Yeah, and
oh,
yeah,
no, I thought you were
that
talking
is
about campaign.
oh no, but and no, even that though, right? Like
Mm.
even that campaign and that, and because
Yeah.
I wasn't the biggest fan of the multiplayer in Cold War, even though it was quite packed with content and stuff. But in general, I don't think people really buying the COD games for just the zombies. Because
No.
I know we think the community is quite big, and it is a big community because you know we.
Well, it's big to us because
it's big to us,
you know,
right?
I'm gonna be real, dude. It's big to us because I'm surprised that there are so many people who are still sticking around. Like,
yeah,
True.
that's
True.
what I'm the most surprised about. Like, there are so many people that are sticking around still to zombies and, you know, haven't completely disowned it. And, you know, some people out there have, and you know what? Good for them. They can go and expand and do better things and, you know, whatever, right? And that's them. But, you know, there are a lot of people out there who haven't left, which is very surprising because this is the weakest time for zombies content ever. You know, I know people would like to argue, well, maybe the time in Infinite Warfare and World War II zombies, you know, that was a weak time too. And yeah, it was, but it doesn't compare to this. Like,
we still got 4 survival maps during them games, or even more, and we got game modes and stuff. So
yeah, and
it's
so
different.
the people who are sticking around now still, you know, hey, I admire your resilience. You know, I'm sticking around too. We're still doing this podcast and we're still making content, right?
True. Well,
but, you know,
even if
I think it's important to branch out and do other things. Like, and I've been playing different games recently too. But you know, zombies is my bread and butter, and I will still come back to it. Brad, what are you saying?
Well, I was just saying, I'm going to piggyback off of that for a second too, because everyone shouldn't be stuck to like one game. You should always be able to play whatever you want, whenever you want, whether your viewership is up or down. You know, that's, you know, up to your fans to decide. But like, you're talking about a lot of people like leaving the community. I even look back on ZWC. When you look at the panel, the day one panel of all the YouTubers that were on stage and they were playing the game and whatnot, and I sit here and I go, you know, there's a lot of names up there that either don't make content anymore or are stepping away from zombies content. I mean, let's say Tim is mostly done with zombies content at this point. Rabbit's been mostly done. I mean, he's still streams on YouTube, but he's been doing a lot of other different things, and you know, being Rabbit. And let's say Rad Austin's gone, Turbo's gone. Let's say Johnny J. I think he made a video a while ago, but I haven't seen him in a hot minute. So let's say Legend is not doing much with zombies anymore. Like, you just kind of look at everything and you just sit there and you go, yeah, there's a lot of big names that have left. And I don't know if it's because they're just done with the game in general, or if they just think the content's stale. Obviously, you don't really have much with Vanguard, and like I said, you know, whatever you feel about Cold War. I like Cold War. I'm not like the biggest fan of Cold War. I'm more of a BO4 guy, but like, you just kind of sit there and go, yeah, there's a lot of people in this community that have gone, like, that have just kind of done what they needed to do and stuff. And
a lot of people who were commonplace are just gone now, for the most part. For the most part.
Yeah, exactly. And it sucks, but we just gotta hope that the next Call of Duty or next Zombies game, like, can maybe pull some of them back in or something, or at least do something. I mean,
I think for certain people, no. Like, certain people are done. Like,
for sure.
It's finished. So
but you know, Vanguard really did do that to a lot of people, and it's unfortunate. But for the people out there who are moving on to bigger and brighter things, and you know, we got people like Turbo who's working on his comedy, and you know, obviously Tim's got his family, and I wish him nothing but the best for his little bundles of joy. And it's one of those things where because all these guys are my friends, and everyone in this community is friends with each other, and it's just so nice to see that, you know, your homies are doing good. You know, your homies are out doing something that makes them happy, and you know, they're doing the best they can with their life. And you know, you have to forever grow, even if it's baby steps, right? Even if it's like tiny little, like, oh, I want to start moving away from zombies content. And then maybe you post a video once a week of a completely different game or something, and then slowly but surely you kind of go there. And then you always have to levy your leverage your high risk, high reward kind of thing too, because with the zombies community, specifically like the consumers of content in the zombies community, some of these people don't take too lightly to people leaving the community either. And
Yeah.
so the numbers will go down. And hey, you subscribe for zombies content, you subscribe for zombies content. I get it. But you know, at the end of the day, some people are going to move on and some people are going to grow out of zombies and try to do their own thing. And, you know, I've always been of the firm belief that the fan base that you build, the tight-knit, close fan base that you built will be there for you. And they'll be there for your personality and what you bring to the table. And it doesn't matter what game you're playing. And, you know, fair enough. If you only subscribe for zombies content, hey, all the more power to you. Unsubscribe. It's free. And, you know, you just want to dedicate your YouTube time to zombies. Cool. I don't hate you. It's just, I just find it very funny sometimes with the people on the maybe extreme side of it, you know, people who are super like, you know, oh, well, you're just bad because you're just leaving zombies, and you know, how could you do this? And it's like, oh, fucking whatever.
I made a video about the community a couple weeks ago, and I think the video still stands at this point. I mean, it was about different things, but it's just like, just support your content creator. Be supportive. Just don't be
a dick. Like, that's literally it. Don't be a dick. And yeah, I mean, it's pretty simple. I mean, zombies content is already few and far between nowadays.
Yep.
And you also have Cosmic. You and I have talked about this before too. The zombies elitists out there, right?
Oh yes.
Who will be like, you know, oh well, you did something just a little bit different than I would in that game. I'm gonna leave this giant paragraph comment and, you know, tell you why you're a bad person. And it's like, bro, what? Bro, what the hell? So I will say that is the extreme side of it, right? I mean, there's extremes to everything. But for the most part, you have 95, 96, 97% of the community that's actually supportive, and the people who have stuck around to watch zombies content and, you know, still stick with us in the drought that we have right now. So hopefully that nonsense that I said, I felt like I was rambling a little bit there towards the end, made some sense.
We've all rambled, so
I don't know, man, but interesting conversations, very interesting conversations. But I think we should move on real quick to another topic of today's podcast, and that would be new custom zombies map coming out, Overload, made by Mad Gaz, and it's a cool map. It's honestly a really, really cool map. I did some voice work for the map as well. Very, very small part, but it's still cool to hear my voice on a zombies map. And the map itself is really cool. It's basically the transit power station, if you guys know transit. It's a transit power station, but it's expanded with like, oh, there's a campground over here, and there's a underground facility here that ties into the transit power room, and then you have, you know, this other area. It's cool. It's really, really cool map, really well made. Black Ops 4 weapons, a refined Black Ops 4 HUD, interesting Easter egg steps, to say the least. And I haven't completed the Easter egg yet, but it's cool. It's definitely a cool map, and I want to complete it, and I want to maybe make a video about it. What do you guys have to say about the map?
All right, I'm just kind of looking at. I have not played Overload yet. I've been so far behind on some of these maps here, but yeah, I'm just looking at everything right now, and I saw you playing a little bit yesterday. Yeah, this is a really good looking map. Like, I love the color. I love like the brightness of it. I love like where it's supposed to be dark, it's dark. Like, it's a really good looking map, and I actually am very excited to see what this how this plays out. And like I said, I'm assuming the Easter egg has been completed by now, but I would love to see what this I'd love to see what the Easter egg looks like, and yeah, it's I'm really liking the way it looks right now, and I think Mad Gaz, it looks like he's throwing in like some of his custom perks and whatnot. So
yeah,
I say Mad Gaz always kills it with the custom maps, and this one looks like it'll be another banger.
It is, absolutely. It's the custom perks are very interesting too, because you have this one called Glitching Gin, and it when you get hit and then you get hit a second time, similar to Winter's Whale, it activates, but unlike Winter's Whale, it teleports you away. And it's kind of an interesting perk. And then you have teleporting grenades that you can throw, which I find is kind of convenient sometimes, but at the same time, you get hit, and then you get hit again, you teleport like right behind the zombie horde, and it's like, oh shit, I didn't teleport far enough. So that can kind of suck sometimes, but then you have this other one, which I forgot what it was called, but basically all your weapons do a little bit extra damage, explosives do a little bit of extra damage, you have a slight elemental effect, and it's kind of interesting. To me, it feels like a Black Ops 4 map in Black Ops 3. Like, if Black Ops 4 maps were to be put onto Black Ops 3, it would be this map.
Oh, for sure.
Similar to Daybreak. Like Daybreak is another map, which is the transit diner area. Speaking of transit, all Black Ops 4ified and, you know, all that kind of stuff. So it definitely reminds me of Daybreak a lot, and it's a fun map. What do you think about it, Cosmic?
I mean, looking from the gameplay here, I'm looking at, because I haven't played either. I'm also quite behind on a lot of the custom zombie maps. The colors are incredible in it, and it looks so well detailed and just like a fun, vibrant map to make, to look like to play even. It reminds me, the colors at least remind me a lot of Tag or Toten in a lot of ways. Agreed. I know it's not super snowy in some aspects, but it does remind me of that, and like the sun and like just the brightness of it. And I think it once again shows that the custom zombies is carrying zombies for a lot of the community, because a lot of these maps are, you know, well, this map will be better than anything that's Vanguard Zombies really has to offer. I believe. When you look at the
good chance
from the scale from this is a studio making a game compared to this is a person making a custom map, right? Like Vanguard Zombies, 2 objective based areas and a map that was made 12 years ago, right? And one person making a reimagining of a zombie map, you know, adding lots of more like areas and, you know, cool perks and stuff like that. It just kind of goes to show that the community is really passionate about this, and people will play it if they're given the content. So, and it's happened before with this, where we've had dry periods where like, where, you know, don't have zombies this year. Like, for example, Modern Warfare, when that game was out, custom zombies were doing quite well then.
Oh, definitely.
And
was.
So it definitely
back when Modern Warfare was out, arguably one of the most hyped up custom map releases in Leviathan happened during Modern Warfare season. And I mean, Leviathan is a masterclass in custom maps. And Europa also came out, another one of my favorite custom maps. So yeah, 2020 was definitely a good year for the custom zombies community. And you know, hey, some of the maps nowadays for custom zombies could, I agree, definitely help out a lot of people when it comes to their content. I mean, there's another map that I played recently, a Mario Kart track turned into a custom zombies map. Yoshi's Circuit. Really creative stuff. I mean, you see what these people do with these custom maps, and you just kind of go, how the fuck did you do that? You know, like you have in the Mario Kart map, you have like Dry Bones and Birdo and the Koopa Troopas. They are the zombies. And then you have like Easter egg steps that revolve around the Mario franchise and the lore. And, you know, like it's creative. It's really freaking creative. And we would just love to see some of these custom mappers get an actual job at a developing studio because of how their, you know, creativity has shined through custom zombies. And I think, I could be mistaken, but I think a custom zombies mapper did get hired by a developing studio a long time ago. I don't remember their name, but I remember hearing some murmurs about that. Do you guys know what I'm talking about at all?
I remember hearing about that, but I don't remember who it was. But either way, it's just kind of nice to see that that someone like that, or like some of these guys, are actually able to get like, you know, a decent job, hopefully, with being over there. Because I mean, like I said, there are a lot. Like, obviously, you got like your generic whatever, like one window barrier challenges and shit like that, but like there are a lot of them that are out there, and you sit there and you go, you know, that guy should, if that guy's not in like good maps for these companies, it's a damn shame, because there's a lot of good ones out there. And like I said, like Mad Gaz is one of them that should be developing maps for them. Ice Grenade does some really good stuff. Like there's a lot of
Ice Grenade. That one was creative.
And so there's a lot of people that should be like these custom mappers that should Hi, Activision, hire them. Like let's get these into some good stable games.
Yes.
That's and put them in the console version too, because I would love to see these games or see these maps in on Xbox, because holy moly, these are too good to not be on there.
Yeah, I think Custom Zombies should come to console. I think it's kind of a weird thing that it hasn't yet, but you know, I made this comparison a long time ago where, you know, Skyrim has a pretty big modding community. And with Skyrim, they, you know, they have the DLC, or not DLC, the add-on like mod store on console. And so I've made the argument before that, well, what would it matter if Activision just put up a, you know, a custom zombies market or custom zombies download queue on console? And, you know, obviously you can't make the maps on PS4 or PS5 or whatever you play on.
But you can download them.
But you can download them and you can play them, right? So I feel like that should be a system, because if Skyrim can do it, and Bethesda figured that out, I see no reason why Activision can't figure that out. Maybe there's some sort of technical issue. I don't know. I really don't. But I just really hope that they consider something like this in the future, because it would just bring custom zombies to a completely new audience, and it would really highlight the community a lot more. And, you know, the other thing is, too, with these custom maps, these people can put this on their portfolio, like their kind of resume, you know, their own version of a demo reel, basically, right? Their video game kind of reel, where it's like, hey, insert company name here. I've worked on this stuff before, and this is how I code, and this is how I script. And, you know, you can kind of put that on your resume, too. So, yeah, I just really hope we see more custom zombies people get picked up by some studios, even if it's like a small studio at first. You know, that's still a huge win.
Yes,
agreed.
But
agreed. Like I said, there's way too much good with the custom mappers that they need to. They should be doing some of the stuff. And like I said, there's too many good maps that are not being played by, like, not everyone can afford a PC. Let's put some of these like better maps, like, you know, like Seppuku and whatnot, on console. Let's let them give them a chance to shine.
Might as well, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, too, you see other people in the mapping community, you know, taking their crack at game studios, too. Like, I'm sure y'all have heard of Terrac Games, and Verco, I believe, is the head of that. So, you know, Verco, he's worked on some pretty decent custom zombies maps in the past. And you know what? You gotta applaud the ambition of a custom zombies mapper just taking a risk and starting a whole new studio by himself. Well, maybe not by himself. I know there are a couple of other mappers with him that I don't remember them off the top of my head. I'm gonna be honest. I completely forgot. But there are some other mappers there that are joining him with it. And hey, looking forward to seeing what they can come up with, because why the hell not?
Exactly.
And I mean, hey, you have other people from the zombies community like JC working at Deviation Games. Now, I know JC's situation is a little bit different because he's known Jason Blundell for a long time. But the fact still stands. The zombies community, we can tap into our untapped potential if we put our minds to it. There's a lot of potential here for people to be in different positions around the gaming world. And, you know, screw it. Even like speedrunners too. Speedrunners working on, you know, you have websites like Zombies World Records that, you know, the official zombies speedrunning boards, and to culminate a community there. You know, maybe they could work on at speedrun.com and something like that. I don't know. There's something there for, I think, everybody in the community if they put their minds to it. And yeah, I think there's just a lot of untapped potential still.
Absolutely.
Let's say, yeah, there's a lot of things that people probably don't even realize. People outside of the zombies community, that they sit there and go, "How did they pick up and stuff?" There's a lot of smart people in this community, and yeah, it's nice to see when some of the bigger companies actually give good recognition to some of them. Like we have with JC going to work with Blundell at Deviation. Like that's great stuff. And like I said, I hope that we can see a lot more with that in the near future. So
Deviation Games, man, that's going to be exciting. It's going to be really, really exciting.
No doubt.
But yeah, guys, I mean, when it comes to the zombies news this week, there hasn't been a huge explosion of news and a huge, you know, things that are considered mainstream for our community, right? Except for maybe Rebirth of the Dead, Overload, I know that certain records have been broken too. I don't remember which records. There was one of them on Raven the Redwoods that I saw the other day.
High round, isn't it? I think
Something along those lines. Like it was like a flawless run or something along those lines. Like that's pretty cool. I definitely need to go back and replay Raven the Redwoods. I did a stream a long time ago where I tried to do the Easter egg for Raven the Redwoods because I haven't even completed a Infinite Warfare Easter egg yet. So unfortunately I died in the boss fight, but
Ray is probably the best one, to be honest, out of the bunch.
Yeah,
I mean,
I had a lot of fun with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've only played Zombies in Spaceland. I did that with Jolts a while ago, and the Easter egg was fun. The map was fun. I died a lot, but like I said, I really enjoyed how everything was with that, and I kind of want to see. It is kind of nice. I want to point out too. It's also been pretty interesting. I've been seeing a lot of really good love for Infinite Warfare recently with zombies and stuff. And like I said, I've only played Spaceland. I've not played any of the other maps, but it's nice to see that that's actually starting to get a lot of support, like at least from what I've been seeing pretty recently. So I just want to take a moment to, I guess, shout out Infinite Warfare and
hell yeah,
Lee Rossi made a good game and say we want to see you back, bud.
Absolutely. I think Lee Ross definitely, I mean, I think he's probably not going to work on Call of Duty anymore, most likely. I mean,
true, but
that's just my
I want to see him do more.
Oh yeah, dude, I'd love to see him take a crack at something else. And you know, Lee Ross, by the way, the invitation is still out there to come on the podcast.
Yes, it is.
I know that a lot of people in the community would love to see it too. So the offer's still there at any time. Our DMs are open. We'd love to pick your brain about Infinite Warfare Zombies. As someone who has just like kind of getting into it more recently, and I didn't really play it back when it first came out, I definitely have a newfound appreciation for it because I was just having so much fun with Black Ops 3 still that I just didn't feel like buying Infinite Warfare, if I'm being honest. So I didn't buy it back then. And so now that I have it and I played it and I played all the maps are cool. Except for, I don't really like Beast from Beyond, but, yeah, I mean, hey, love to pick your brain at it. The invitation's still out there. But yeah, Infinite Warfare. I think what's interesting about that too is, you had this kind of interesting story and these interesting, how do I put it? There's a particular word I'm looking for and I can't think of the word. But you're looking at things through the eyes of like time period movies, and you're looking at it through the eyes of this completely different perspective that you're trapped in a movie, and you're like, I think that's kind of neat. I mean, life is a movie, right? You're watching the greatest show unfold right now, right? And so it's kind of funny to see that play out the way it did. And I think unique and interesting things like that are what makes Infinite Warfare stand out from the rest.
True.
But,
true. Let's say, but I don't know. That's kind of the same thing. Like that's just kind of the zombies genre as a whole. When you play the game, you kind of hate the game, you shit on the game, and then you love the game like 2 years after it's done or something like that.
Well, like I didn't even shit on it. I just like didn't really care at the time.
No, I'm just saying, like as a whole, like I even see that with Black Ops 4, where whether you still like it or not, I don't know. But like I said, there's those moments where it's just like, yeah, people hated such and such or whatever, and now they play it again, and now that it's kind of crazy too with that, like how the game, for at least for BO4, the game is 4 years old now, and people are still finding like little tips and tricks for like Blood of the Dead on like with everything going on there. So like I said, it's just kind of nice and now people are like kind of playing it again and they're showing a little more appreciation for it. Probably just because we're really still on content right now, but it's just kind of fun to see. It's just the whole cycle of everything just eventually everything's getting their love and appreciation. So
yeah.
Black Ops 4 is having a bit of a resurgence a little bit here.
Yep.
And that's cool. That's really cool to see, especially like you were talking about with like the Easter egg steps being discovered to be more of an easier step, like with the bird and the Morse code.
Yep.
Damn, like that's good to see. That's really good to see. And yeah, fascinating stuff. Fascinating stuff. It's kind of the same thing with me and World War II, where I bought World War II, but I liked the Final Reich. I thought it was all right, but I didn't. It didn't like amaze me as much to where I wanted to buy the season pass. Like I played the Final Reich and I was like, yeah, this is cool, you know, for what it's worth. Oh, 2 different Easter eggs. Okay, that's a neat idea. But then I go, well, I'm not super like dazzled like I was with Black Ops 3 and, you know, Black Ops 4 later on down the line. But yeah, I just didn't really care too much about World War II, to be honest, either. But I still have yet to play the other World War II maps, so
yeah, I had enough gray with Nocturne Tone. I didn't need to see any more gray with World War II. But
really, you don't like gray and brown?
No, it reminds me too much of Vanguard.
My 2 favorite colors for a zombie map:
gray and brown, and maybe some black.
Well, I mean, you can look at Origins, right? Like, as much as I love Origins, it is mostly just that grayish brown because the ground.
But you have a really colorful sky and really colorful like weapons, and that like offset it, you know.
That's
like,
true. So
I know you can make the argument with like the Tesla guns in World War II, but like even those kind of felt bland sometimes.
Nah,
like,
they're not as like eye drawing, I guess you could say.
And for what it's worth, I like the Tesla guns as weapons, but yeah, I don't know, man.
Yeah. Actually, it's funny with a lot of the maps that are out there, like a lot of them just have that one color palette. Like Origins, yeah, you have the gray, blue, fog, you know, kind of the same thing over and over again. Call the Dead, gray, blue, fog, same thing. Like pretty much the only thing that's like bright is the lighthouse, but I don't know, it's just kind of funny when you look at some of these maps and you just go, oh yeah.
Then you have Revelations, which
is every color.
Yeah.
Every color thrown at you.
Exactly. So it's just funny. It's just funny that you have like some of these, like some of the favorite maps anyway, that are just like the same looking thing or whatever, and you go, oh yeah, I love that map.
Yeah, I mean, hey, Revelations is severely underrated, I believe, and I like Revelations, and the colors on it are cool. Being in, like in the universe and like this apothecant energy and this dark energy and the clash between good and evil and like all this stuff. Like it's a cool looking map. The Easter egg is, not my favorite. Not my favorite, to be honest. But playing the map, just having a fun time, is I like Revelations for that mainly.
Yep.
But yeah, guys, I think we talked about some fun stuff today on the podcast. Talked about Warzone, talked about custom zombies, talked about reused assets, of course, everyone's favorite conversation to have. And I guess that's about it. But do you guys have any other closing thoughts before we wrap things up here for episode 98?
Just that I hope the more zombie stuff comes out soon. I know Modern Warfare 2 on the way. It doesn't really look like, you know, there's going to be massive innovations with zombies and
well, no zombies at all. So
yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? And I don't think Vanguard will be getting any more. I mean, if we were going to get zombies content, to be honest, I imagine it'd be in Vanguard, if anything. Right. But at the same time, it's like, are they going to? If they close off the story and finish it off before that, then obviously we know that that's not happening. So yeah, more zombie stuff, hopefully, but if not, that's also okay.
Fingers crossed. What about you, Brad?
I'll say, I guess I just want to echo off of that, because I think they said we're getting one more map in Vanguard at least, and say hopefully it's good. Hopefully it's a nice round-based map, and say just gotta hope that it's that Vanguard stabilizes itself and actually is playable, because like I said, I've only done Chino Numa, I think, with you, Jason, the one time we tried doing it on stream. And that's the only time I played it,
bro.
And say we kept crashing on 15. So say Activision, please put it in assets to at least stabilize it just a little bit, just a little bit. I'm not even asking for much,
right? But I mean, that's definitely not asking for much.
Yeah, and say but But yeah, I really don't have too much else, and I guess yeah, just like and subscribe.
There you go. Everybody like and subscribe.
Everyone like and subscribe.
Everybody, thank you all so much for watching this episode of the Division Z podcast. What was your favorite part? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments. And huge shout out to Brad for coming on the podcast today and hanging out with us and talking about a bunch of crazy stuff like we normally do. And yeah, he'll be linked down below in the description, as well as everything else that we do with Division Z and all our stuff. And yeah, I guess that's about it. Have a fantastic rest of your day or night, depending on where you are in this crazy world. And we'll see you guys next time. Peace.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.